We are ready to rumble. Oh, hello, folks. Okay, breaking news. If you've seen the last few clips that I've been trying to put together some content, Elijah has quit the YouTube channel. Yeah, okay, folks, he's quit the YouTube channel. I know. So I am doing this for both of us now. And you know what, you guys? Let me know if you would prefer for Elijah to come on and share his side of the story. Also, you guys, oh my gosh, but literally the other day, I went and got a pedicure. This is a side story, but I went and got a pedicure, and when the guy was clipping my toes, it hurt, not clipping my toes, but you know how they clip the dead skin around your toes? Okay, this is a little TMI, a little disgusting, but he was clipping and I was like, ow! And I was with a friend, and I was like, I don't want to act like this is so painful and call out this guy, but holy smokes, that hurt. What did you just pull out of my skin? And so it's been kind of achy, but I was like, maybe it's just because he pulled skin away. And I'm like, what, sir? You just injured me. Hi, this is Allie, just reporting from the future. I am just here to let you know that this video may feel a little bit bumpy, a little bit choppy, maybe like I'm learning how to ride a bike for the first time. But that's what happens when Elijah's not here and I'm just figuring things out. I just, I don't know, get envisioned for just me and a camera. So at any point you want to just fast forward or exit out, feel free. Okay, over and out. Anyway, you guys, I want to share with you a little bit about wedding day emotions and feelings and all the things. I'm just looking at my toe. Ow. I've just been thinking, I felt like I had heard so many stories about wedding days, and I know I tried to start a little clip previously on this topic. Elijah and I had expectations. Obviously, I had expectations of the week of my wedding, and it wasn't the same as Elijah. The truth is, Elijah and I were actually on pretty different pages the week of our wedding. And I don't know what really could have set us up for better success, except if we had communicated what expectations we had of that week. Granted, we had a really unique situation because it was COVID and we had internationals that were in our wedding. So half of Elijah's groomsmen were internationals. And so they couldn't just fly out 2 different times within 6 months. I mean, that's a lot to ask. So it made sense that they came just, the week of the wedding to celebrate Elijah. So obviously they had a big celebration and bachelor party and all these things. Granted, the week I was supposed to have a bachelorette party, I got sick and I had to be really careful because of the season we were in. So I had to go and get tested to make sure everyone was safe. I had to call my friend and let her know the situation. She canceled her flight and I didn't have the bachelorette weekend I thought I was going to have. And she actually wasn't even able to come prior when we ended up doing a celebration. So in my heart, I was picturing that week to be prep week, my family's here, your family's here, what a great moment that everyone gets to meet each other, spend time together. It's awesome the guys are in town and I have friends from out of town in town, but this week truly is about preparing for the wedding. Where Elijah has his friends from out of town and he's really devoted to making them comfortable, being with them, spending time with them. having a last hurrah, like the whole thing. And it was so challenging for me because I felt a lot of pressure not to have needs that week, but I had needs, and it's okay to have needs that week. Like, you're about to get married to this person and you need them to show up, and you need to be able to communicate with them and be connected with them. But so I had a really challenging, stressful week leading up to the wedding, actually, mainly because I felt incredibly disconnected to Elijah. And I'm going to be very frank with you. I called my parents and explained, like, I am so frustrated with Elijah. I feel like he only cares about seeing the guys and spending time with the guys. And I'm like planning this wedding. Granted, there's so many reasons that was happening, but in all the celebration, there was a lot of like administrative things that hadn't been taken care of. And so the guys are planning things as they're here. And I'll spare the whole long story. But there were reasons for me to feel like, oh, like, you're going to be gone until rehearsal dinner, like that, until, rehearsal day. Like, there's things that need to get done before that. And that doesn't make me feel cared for. That makes me feel like the boys are priority and not the wedding. And having to communicate that, first of all, I like hate to feel like the party pooper or Debbie Downer. So that was a massive challenge for me. So eventually it led into wedding, day before wedding, 2 days before wedding. And truthfully, I was feeling off with Elijah, and I could feel a stress arising in him that, personally, I had feeling stressed all week. And we had a lot of conversations that week not a lot, but the conversations that we had that week felt like trying to figure out this situation rather than being able to enjoy this week because I was just so overwhelmed. And eventually we got to a place where it was like the day before the wedding, and I was at finally complete ease and peace. And I was like, it's the day before my flipping wedding. Like, this is so exciting. All my best friends are coming into town. My sister's with me all day today. My best friend is here. Like, I feel ready now. Like, I feel like I can do this. Let's go, girls. And then I started to notice, I feel like Elijah's now really stressed. This is day before wedding. So like, we are just like not on the same page. Like, literally, I remember my grandma coming up to me and going like, oh, Elijah just doesn't seem like himself. Like, he seems a little nervous, which of course, nervousness is totally normal. But for me, like, I had reached a place where I had come to the other side of that, I think, and then was feeling like, oh my goodness, like, it's our wedding day and I don't feel incredibly connected to you. But honestly, I felt like it was the Lord, because I woke up on my wedding day and was like, the day is here. I actually have had so much peace about this day and this process and this choice for so long that I have peace about this moment and I get to enjoy this day. And it was the most amazing day. Like, I was with my favorite people. We were getting ready together. Everyone was so excited. Like, the day was here. And anyway, we went throughout the wedding, and I remember, like, okay, seeing Elijah walking down the aisle, like, all the emotions you could ever feel in the world, like, so excited, like, can't believe this moment is here. Oh my gosh, like, he's crying. Here we are. I'm walking down the aisle with my dad. Like, my dad is like the most ecstatic I've ever seen him. Like, just a beautiful moment. And then I remember we walk in, so ceremony's all done and wrapped up, and we're taking photos and it's fun, and we walk into the reception. And funny story about our reception is we walked in, we were announced at our reception, and there was like a miscommunication, and we were like prompted to have our first dance, and it was to the wrong song that we were gonna have our first dance on. It was like the same title but a different song. And so we were like kind of thrown, but like just went with it. Nobody noticed, but like, the people that knew. Anyway, so we had 2 first dances on our wedding day, but that moment I remember feeling like, this is totally fine, like whatever, like let's just have a first dance, like it's fun, it's whatever, it's our wedding, like we get to do whatever we want, like this is our day. And Elijah was just like thrown, like, oh my gosh, like are people thinking this is like a joke? Like just kind of like a lot of pressure. Like he hadn't just like let it go yet. And so anyway, we enjoyed our wedding. Like our reception was beautiful. It was like the most perfect weather. Like we just danced the night away. Like all the things that you think are a big deal. Like I don't even remember like what my food tasted like. Like I don't even know, you know, like those things that you think are such a big deal in that moment. Like I remember that my grandma danced all night on the dance floor and that my dad was the most ecstatic, and my sister cried and was so happy when she gave her speech, and our friends were there, and like those are the things I remember. Like it was the most magnificent, and like my friends from out of town came in a really unique season. Like things just meant the world happened on that day, and like our send-off was beautiful, and like it was just amazing. But I remember when I left later on in the week, I began to process, and I began to be like almost grieved at the fact that I felt disconnect. It was like everything that didn't feel right was super highlighted in my brain, and I couldn't even remember the things that were so beautiful about that day. And I began to have these dreams where I was having 2 different weddings, which I'll explain. I started to have dreams constantly that I was getting married twice, and I was always getting married to Elijah. It was that in my dream, I would have a dream about our wedding day, like how our wedding day actually was. And then in the same dream, I would have a dream that we had a second wedding. And the second wedding was always like, there were different people there, or it was at a different place, or like, there's so many. I mean, I literally was having this dream every night for probably like, or every other night at least, for at least a month or 2. Like I just began to have dreams about this. It was like almost like my brain was processing what was happening. And this one day I was with Elijah, and we were talking about the wedding, or we were talking about my dreams and how I've been having these dreams. I had been telling his parents, like I've been telling everyone, because I was like, okay, enough's enough. I've been having this dream so much. Like, what is this about? And I finally just asked him, and I was like, hey, do you have any regrets about our wedding? Like, and he was like, do you feel like you regret something? And I just began to cry. We were out at dinner, and I just like was getting teary-eyed, and I was like, I think I'm just sad that you were so stressed on our wedding day. And it made me really sad. Like I felt like Lige just couldn't relax. And well, it didn't make me sad in the moment. In the moment, you just have so much going on. But when I began to think back on the wedding, I just began to get really, anytime I thought of it, I would get really sad about how Elijah was feeling that day, and how it may have even affected like how much fun he could have had, or all these things. And I'm sitting in this restaurant, and I just start to cry, and I'm like, Lige, yeah, like I think that I'm just so sad that you were so stressed. And I was like, do you regret that? Or whatever. I asked him, and he was like, Al, I don't regret any feeling I had on that day. It's all a part of the story. It's all a part of the journey and the process. He's like, I look back on that day, and that day is the best day of my life, regardless of if I was stressed, if it was a moment I was the most happy. Like all the emotions happened on that day, and that's okay. That's our story. And since that day, I haven't had a dream where I've had the 2 weddings. Like it's like my mind just got put at rest, and I was like, it is. Your day is your day, and however that unfolds is beautiful, because that's your story. So if you were Bridezilla, you were Bridezilla. If you were as calm as could be and wish you cared more, so be it. Like that's your day. I just realized like, oh my goodness, like all I'm focusing on, well, actually I didn't realize for a long time until I finally said something to Elijah where we had that moment. And I realized like just how perspective can change a whole day or a whole memory. And there was actually something so beautiful about that day, because we knew our choice deep down was yes to each other. And we had worked through really hard stuff while we were dating. So we knew, we knew that we knew what we wanted and what we were saying yes to and what we were committing to. And we knew that a little bump in the road didn't mean this was a no, oh no, red lights, yield, what are we doing? This just gave us an opportunity to like push in and choose each other in that moment. Man, looking back on your wedding day can be filled with so many emotions and memories. But I think that I started to feel a little like guilt that I was like, didn't feel like, oh my gosh, this is the best day ever. But actually it was okay, because once I allowed myself to process how I was feeling, I'm not kidding. Like now I look back on that day and I'm like, it was beautiful. And everyone I talked to was like, it was the most beautiful day. It was the most normal day I had in all of 2020. Like it was magnificent and wonderful, stunning and perfect. Like it was just so much fun and just the best day ever. But if I didn't allow myself to like go to that place, like, oh, I had all these weird feelings on that day. And when I think back on it, I think about those weird feelings or those weird moments. It's made this possible. So bless you guys and see you next time. And comment below if you would like Elijah to come back and share his side of the story, or let me know if you like these chats better or any of your thoughts. Okay, love you guys. Bye.